Good morning. How are y'all this morning? I thought I was looking at my beads and they're green, and I'm like, okay, St. Patrick's Day's over. So I was going to change my beads real quick. How are y'all this morning? I told y'all they fell out. What color is Easter? Well, let's see. Pink. Well, I need flower beads. Hang on, y'all. It'll only take a second. I think I'm going to put blue. I think I'm going to do that. I need to change my. I have a ladybug for Diane on my wrist, and I usually don't take that one off. Um, see, but I think I'm going to change it today. I have been trying to go. What's happened? What am I going to talk about? Because this weekend, I was busy little girl this weekend. I'm gonna put this blue bead on my bracelet. I had a lot of people here all weekend, and I went to see. Well, Friday, Eli and Elliot, which are our grandkids, and Shelby came to see us Friday, and then Saturday I got up and I did my morning tour, and then I went to stay with Charlie, my granddaughter, and then it's just been I've been out of coffee for 2 days. So this morning I got up and I'm not the person that goes to Starbucks. Like, I try not to get in the habit of doing that because, like, I mean, I bought 2 coffees this morning and it was $13. And I thought, Lord, I could have gone in Walmart and bought a whole box of coffee for what I just spent for 2 cups. So I don't usually get in a habit. If I go to Starbucks, it's a treat. Like, it's a treat to myself. Glasses are coming off. I am going blind. The comments are for y'all. If somebody has a question about something I'm saying, and Teresa, Jane, or uh, Chris know the answers, they'll answer it for you. Okay, I I don't have a clear subject of what I want to talk about today with mental health. So I'm like going on the top of my head, going, okay, is there something bothering me? There's always something bothering me. There's a lot of things that are going on in my family that I can't control. And unfortunately, when there's something that I can't control, I obsess, meaning that I think about it nonstop. Like, my brain won't slow down because I sit there and try to figure out how to fix it. Well, maybe if I do this, maybe if I do this. Oh, Judy, you can't fix it. Remember, you can't control it. You can only control yourself. It's like a constant battle in my head when there's something going on that I can't fix. And there's been one situation that I have literally grown to exhaustion on, because I have been trying to fix this one situation for over 20 years. And it's something that is really bad. And it's something that I have beat myself up over trying to fix it. And nothing I do can fix it. And now this problem has spiraled down to other people, and I am in the middle of it all. And I, I talked about this last week about listening and not responding. And that is the hardest thing for me, is to listen and not respond, because the things that I'm listening to are horrible. And it's things that need to be responded to, but it doesn't need to be responded to by me. And I have to just sit and listen and not say nothing, but just talk to my support system. Because if I was to talk out loud, I could cause a disaster. And I have to just sit here and shut up and talk to Luna or Leroy. And it's very difficult to deal with. And I'm not going to harp on that because I'll talk too much. This past week, I'm trying to think what I was doing when this happened. I had people here, okay? Let's just put it like that. I was busy. I can't remember what I was doing. I don't know. Oh, I know. I know what I was doing. It was Wednesday and the center was here. And in the middle of us karaokeing, the nursing home calls. And when we karaoke, the people from the center, they usually have my cell phone because they're playing the music. They pick out the music they want to sing to. And I kind of just go with the flow. And so my phone rang. And when my phone rings, the music stops. And everybody's just like, because we're in the middle of karaoke and the music stops. So it stopped. And Tammy handed me the phone. And by the time I answered it, it was a nursing home. And by the time I answered it, she'd hung up. And I was like, oh, Lord. Because when the nursing home calls me, I get scared. Like, what's wrong with Larry? Like, oh, no, they need something. And so I ended up, I said, y'all are just going to have to stop karaoke for just a minute. Let me call the nurse back. So I called the nurse back and she goes, hey, I'm in here with Larry now and he wants me to call you and give you a grocery list. And in my head, I'm like, you're interrupting this whole karaoke for a grocery list when you get free food and free drinks at the nursing home. And you're going to get the nurse to call me for a grocery list. And the nurse was laughing because she realizes it's ridiculous. Like she realizes, like she almost feels embarrassed to call and tell me this. But if I had to guess, she's dealing with what I dealt with when he lived here, and that is obsession. And what he'll do is he probably was bugging the nurse. Will you call Judy and tell her I need peanut butter crackers? And the nurse is probably going, well, I can go get you some peanut butter crackers. We have them here. No, I want Judy to bring them. And the nurse was probably trying to persuade him to take the peanut butter crackers from the nursing home. And she probably got sick of hearing it until she said, I'm just going to call Judy and tell her to bring peanut butter crackers. Is probably what happened. And I told her, I said, will you tell Larry I have a lot going on? Because last week is when I found out I had melanoma again and I got to have surgery. I had to go to Birmingham for my ears. I've got holes in my eardrums and I just have a lot of medical stuff going on. And I said, will you tell Larry that I will see him next week? And I've got some things that I'm having to take care of this week. And I haven't been able to be at the nursing home this week because I've had a lot going on. I've been working my butt off. This time of year, spring is my busiest time. Spring and fall are my busiest times of the years because I have field trips, I have tours, I have babies are hatching. I have a lot going on. And at the end of the day, I have to pay for this farm. I have to work. If you can get peanut butter crackers at the nursing home, it would be best for you to eat the peanut butter crackers at the nursing home. And I think what's hard for me is because you wouldn't think that you would have to put down boundaries or teach a lesson to a 77-year-old man like you would. But when someone has, and I don't have a full diagnosis for Larry, that's what's hard. I have no idea what's wrong with him. I mean, I know he's got COPD, but no one's point blank said, I mean, they've said he's got dementia, but I've told y'all that he's not the dementia patient that you and I know. When we see someone with dementia, they may not know who we are. They may not know where they're at. They may have anger. They had this gaze look in their eyes. Like that's what we view as dementia. Larry doesn't forget anything. Larry remembers everything, but Larry has childlike behavior that's hard to deal with. And Larry has where I have been to counseling all my life. So when I have obsession, I know what tools I have to use to fix it. It may take me a minute to fix it, but I can get there. Larry's had no mental health training. No one's ever addressed the obsession problem that he had. Larry's a hoarder. Larry, if you would have walked into Larry's house, you'd have died. It was bad. And no one addressed that. That's just Larry. No, that's a problem. Like that. Hoarding is a problem that needs to be addressed. If you ignore it, it's just going to keep getting worse. And then they're going to live in filth. You know, like when there is something that keeps coming back and you don't fix the problem, it whoever's taking care of that person, it becomes their problem. So then we're in my house and he's trying to be a hoarder in my house, wanting to live out of trash bags and eat in the bed and all these things. And we're not doing that here. And so then it becomes a problem when I'm battling someone that has a hoarding problem because it's never been addressed. So I guess that's one thing that we could talk about today is ignoring problems. If let's just say you have something that keeps creeping up and it's creeped up your whole life. I don't know. I'll use me for an example. The whole jacked up mind about eating, about body image, it is my mind is corrupted when it comes to body image, uh diet. I mean, this mind is sick. And I have been to therapy for it. And I have been in the hospital for it. And I have been on dialysis for it. And I've almost died over it. So you would think that like that problem would have been addressed in the 16 years that I've had the same counselor and have been to the doctor regularly for a long since 2010. I have been to the psychiatrist regularly. I take care of myself. Well, you would think with all that counseling, I'll try to figure out the right cocktail for my medication that like that problem would be over with. And it comes and goes. Like it'll be it goes away for a short amount of time. Like I can escape from it for a little while and then it just creeps back. And what I will do, so I want you to think in your head some problem that keeps creeping back that you've dealt with your whole life. Maybe it's worrying. Maybe it's obsessing. Maybe it's your weight. Maybe it's depression. Maybe it's fighting with your spouse over the same problem and it never gets better. I don't know what your what keeps creeping up in your life. But try to take what I'm saying and then apply it to your life. What keeps creeping back up? And for me, it's a stupid I call it an eating disorder because that's what my doctor calls it. I don't know what it is. But it's so janked up. And used to back in the day, I would do really a lot of self-harm to myself when it would creep back up. And what I would do is I had to have some major change in my life in order for me to make myself go to starvation. Is this not sound stupid? But this is what I did. I would, if I had to change jobs, if I had to have surgery, those life-changing moments would alter my thought process of food in my mouth. So what I would do is if I had to have surgery or if I was changing jobs, I would get in my mind and go, "Oh, I'm not eating. I'm gonna lose weight because I'm gonna have surgery and all I'm gonna be able to eat is soup," or I'm changing jobs and, you know, you get excited when you change jobs because it's a new opportunity and, "Oh, this is my opportunity not to eat anymore." I almost feel dumb saying this out loud. It sounds so dumb, but I'm being honest. This is what I would do. And I would, lose a bunch of weight. And then everybody would tell me how great I looked. "Oh, Judy, you look so good. You've lost so much weight. You look younger." And, I'd feel so good about myself. And then I would fall into a depression and then I'd eat my way back to fat. And this has been my whole life. Now, I have not I have not starved myself since 2013. When I've told you guys this story, but if you're new to me and you don't know the story, I was in a car accident. It was a bad car accident, like bad. Like I broke my back, I broke my pelvis, I broke my toe. My son had to have a body cast. He was bedridden. He had to go to school at home. Like it was a bad wreck. Well, when I had the wreck, it prompted me to starve myself. So I started starving myself. And at the time, when I was coming home, it was spring break. I had gone to the doctor, to the psychiatrist. They changed my prescription. I'll tell you what medicine they changed it to: lithium. Okay. I just changed medicine to lithium. I'd never taken that before. I left the psychiatrist. I went to pick up the kids and I had a car accident. So I had started taking this new medicine when I decided I was no longer going to eat. And, when you have a prescription and the prescription says must eat with food or eat with food, that's not there just to have a yellow sticker. Okay. It's there for a reason. Okay. So what happens is when you take that medicine, you have to take it with food because it absorbs into your system. Well, I was starving myself. When I starved myself, I would eat like one saltine cracker a day. That's it. And so I was starving myself and didn't realize I was becoming toxic. And my blood was getting poisoned. At the same time, my son was bedridden and having teachers come to my house every day to do school with Vanson. I would be laid out on the couch asleep. And after, I don't know how many weeks it was. I'm going to say 2 or 3 weeks. I was declining rapidly. It first started with me with confusion. Like I would pick up my cell phone to text and I wouldn't know how to do it. but I didn't know how to tell somebody I didn't know how to do. I d I couldn't say, "I can't figure out how to text message. What's wrong with me?" Like, I couldn't like, my brain wasn't there. Well, then I started vomiting, and I was vomiting nonstop, and I remember my husband saying, "What is wrong with you?" And I was like, "I don't know, because I didn't know. I mean, I purposely wasn't trying to toxic myself. I didn't know what was going on. Well, then when you're vomiting and you don't feel good, then you really don't eat. So I went from eating one saltine cracker a day to eating nothing. And I can remember my husband would come home from work and Vanson would be in the bed, with his body cast on, and I'm laid out there, and my husband would come home from work and go, "You've got to eat something." And I can remember I couldn't swallow. I couldn't swallow at all. So I would sit there and put food in my mouth and chew it, and I couldn't swallow, and I would spit it out. And then my husband would get mad at me and going, "Swallow the food, Judy. Swallow the food." And I couldn't swallow it. Well, I started having seizures. And my first seizure was in front of Anson, my son. And it was me and him by ourselves. And Vanson's on Facebook going, "My mother's having a seizure. Someone help me." After going to the ER multiple times, they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. They would try to draw blood, and I was so dehydrated that they couldn't get blood. It was horrible, and they would send me home, couldn't find anything wrong with me. They'd send me home. I'd go home, and I'd have another seizure, and I'd go by ambulance back to the hospital. They couldn't figure out what was wrong. They sent me home. I'd have a seizure. I'd go back to the hospital, and we went back and forth. And I remember one time my husband was bawling his eyes out, and he was like, "Judy, you've got to tell me what to do. What is wrong with you?" And I didn't know. And at this point, I could barely talk, and I just said, "Call my doctor. Call my doctor. Call the doctor, my psychiatrist." And they thought that I was having a brain bleed or something from the car accident. And to make a long story short, after about 15 seizures, they found out that I was toxic and I had to go on dialysis. And I came close to dying. And from that day, I I've told y'all this too, but the day that I finished dialysis, I'm out of it, y'all. I don't even know where I'm at. Okay. I remember looking up and seeing the billboard that said, because I was like, "Am I dead? Am I in heaven?" Like, I wasn't sure what was going on. I was out of it. And I went straight from intensive care on dialysis, and they slapped me in the psych ward. And I'm like, What am I in here for? Like, I mean, I was so confused because no one explained to me, and I'm not seeing my family at this point. And I'm like, why am I here? Like, what happened? Like, what? It was awful. It was awful. And my leg was so bruised from dialysis. Whew. So from that day on, when I realized, because my doctor was trying to figure out why I got toxic. That's the first day, because she said to me, she said, "Were you eating?" She didn't even know I had eaten. I had been to the doctor for 6 years, or three, no, it was 3 years. I had been to the counselor 3 days a week for 3 years and never told her I had an eating disorder. I didn't want her to know. I liked having an eating disorder because I liked getting skinny. I liked starving myself. Go figure. But when you have deep, dark rooted secrets, You don't just walk into a psychiatrist's office and go, hey, guess what? I love starving myself because when I get starving, I go to manic and I got energy and like you don't tell people that because you like it. You tell people, I'm depressed. My husband's a train wreck. You go into the doctor and you talk like that. You don't talk about the things that you like that are toxic, you know? And so she said, Judy, were you eating when you were taking this medicine? And I said, no. She said, what were you eating at all? And I said, no, I couldn't swallow. And then she put two and two together to figure out why I was toxic because I was taking this medication without food, which caused me to have seizures and almost die and have to go on dialysis. So I told myself that I would never do that again. And I haven't. But that did not fix what was in this brain of mine. To this day, I suffer with the same thing that I suffered with back on that day when I was having dialysis. The brain has not changed at all. I still have moments of wanting to starve myself. I still have moments of like feeling jacked up about my body image. Like that doesn't go away. It doesn't. That was in 2013 when I had my car accident. It's 2026. I go to counseling all the time. So you would think that like that would be something that I have worked through, but it's not. I no matter what it keeps popping back up. Like I'll do real good and then all of a sudden I go off the deep end. I don't starve myself, but it's almost like I should because all the toxic things are still in this brain. And I sit here and think, I think about Larry and I think about like it cannot feel good to him to be the way he is. Like he's got to know he's janked up. He's got to. Like he's got to know that he gets obsessed with stuff and then has to buy 45,000 things of it. Like when you are living in a hoarder situation and you look around your house, you have to know, oh my God, I'm really out of control. I should clean this house. When there's maggots in the house, like that's not like you can't see them. Or you don't see that your house is disgusting and you've got stacks of spray paint that you're never going to use in this bedroom, like all in the closet. Like know, it's not like you walk in the house and go, oh, my house looks great. Like, that you're a hoarder. But when there's something that you like Larry likes hoarding things, you're not going to talk about it. Just like me, when I was going to counseling, I would talk about how depressed I was, but I ain't telling her what I'm doing when I'm manic. Because when you're manic, I can cure world hunger on manic. When I'm manic, I am superwoman. There ain't nothing I can't accomplish. I ain't gonna talk about that because when you're manic, you feel good. Depression does not feel good. Crying, depression, staying in the bed, you'll talk about all day long. You'll say, I am so depressed. I hate did I already do this side? Don't even know. You will talk about depression. You're like, my marriage sucks. Like, you'll talk about that, but you're not going to talk about, I live in filth. Like, I have a hoarding problem and I need help, and I have no idea why I do this. You're just going to keep doing it your whole entire life. And now that he's in the nursing home, you should see what his room looks like. All on the floor, just in the floor everywhere. I can't even hardly walk uh to his seat to sit down beside his bed because he has got bull crap everywhere. There's no organization, and I can go in there and organize it all. And it will cause him to go through the roof because he don't know where nothing is. And it's the same thing with me with my eating disorder. I don't like to talk about it. I like to complain about being fat. Lord, I'm fat. I am fatter and fatter can be. Like, and people go, "Gee, you're not fat. You're not fat." Okay, well then, why can't I fit in any of my clothes? Because I'm skinny. I can't wear none of my blue jeans because I'm skinny. People don't like to talk about, because like, dieting is hard. So like, you're like, I'm just gonna be fat the rest of my life. Like, I'm just gonna be a fat butt. I'm old. I'm not wearing a swimsuit. I'm not trying to attract a man. I'm just like, I don't want to talk to the doctor about this, even though this crap creeps up all the time and it robs me of my joy, but I don't want to talk about it. I've been this way my whole life. I might as well just go out with dealing with this. And it's like, Larry can't see the big picture. Larry can't see that he puts a lot of stress on me because it's me. He wants me. He don't call his brother. He don't get the nurse to call his brother. He don't get the nurse to call my brother. He gets the nurse to call me. He wants me to be the one who comes up there multiple times a week and sits with him, and I have to sit and listen to negative, 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 and I walk out of there crying. Like, he doesn't think about the effect of what I'm going through and what I'm dealing with. And I'm dealing with Medicaid, and I'm dealing with the nurses calling, and I'm dealing with hospice, and I'm dealing with all the financial parts of what's going on with him. He didn't think about that. He thinks about, I need you to bring me peanut butter crackers, but can you get them at the nursing home? Yes, but I want you to do it. I want you to do it. Well, Larry, I'm trying to work to pay for the farm. Like, I can't stop and bring you peanut butter crackers. You're going to have to eat the peanut butter crackers that are free at the nursing home that you're paying $7,500 a month for, because you have no money. I can't get a grocery list like this. I'm trying to figure out how to pay for my own groceries for me and Shane, because we don't have peanut butter crackers here for free. You have everything at the nursing home for free. Are free. $7,500 that you're paying. It's like these things keep creeping back up. I need Judy. I need Judy. I need Judy. What is this all about? What is this all about? Why do you feel so alone? Why are you a hoarder? Judy, why does this jacked up brain of body image and eating disorder and all this, like, why? Why does this keep creeping back up? The same problems in your marriage, why do they keep creeping back up? The same bull crap over and over and over for years. You're fighting over the same stupid thing. Why? Why? In my head, the why is because you haven't got treatment. I'm not honest. Well, let me break that. Let me back up a little bit. I have had treatment for my eating disorder, where Larry hasn't had treatment for his hoarder and the obsession with me and all this stuff, like his dementia, like he's not had any treatment. Okay, I have. So why am I Larry? Why does this keep creeping back up in my head? I always feel like when I'm on the phone with my counselor that there's something else more important to talk about because I have a lot of things going on. So, like, I would rather say, like, let's say me and Shane are in an argument. I'd rather talk about that. Or something's going on with my children. I'd rather talk about that than my eating disorder because I feel like those problems are bigger than the whole eating disorder. Even though this eating disorder bullcrap comes up, it's like a broken record. It comes. I would say there's not a day that goes by that I don't self negative talk to myself about body image. You're a fat butt. Why can't you just eat right? Why like I negative self talk to myself. So why if this is something that I cannot stand about myself, why don't I fix it? Because I always feel like there's other things to talk about other than that. It almost feels like it's selfish because it's not like I'm obese. I'm not obese. I'm just miserable. I was talking to Shane last night at the supper table and I said, "Do you know what I do like when Larry does this to me? Like, do you know what I do? I try to envision that one day I'm going to be in the nursing home. And will I get the nurse to call my children and say, I don't want the peanut butter crackers here at the nursing home. I want the name brand Lance. Will you go get me some Lance peanut butter crackers?" You know, like I try to envision me sitting in the nursing home and what would I be doing? What would I say? And I'm like, when Larry gets the nurse to call me for peanut butter crackers, what is he trying to tell me? And I know what he's trying to tell me. Get your A double up here to see me. You did not come this week. That that is probably, if I break it down, he's trying to tell me get your A up here. Don't leave me in this nursing home by myself. I feel all alone. If I had to guess, because I know Larry didn't care about the difference in a Lance cracker and a, I don't know the other name of the crackers. I'm just making up name brands. But if I had to break, if I was a guessing person, what he's trying to say is, hey, you forgot to come this week. But see, he can't see what all that's happening behind the scenes. He doesn't see that I'm having, to go to two doctors, skin doctor and the ENT about my ears to Birmingham. It's taken, I got to drive all the way to Birmingham and wait in the office, and I have tours and I have babies being born, and he don't see I need to go to the grocery store. He doesn't see what I do behind the scenes. He don't see me on the phone with Medicaid half the day trying to figure out all his financial crap. He don't see that. He sees she's not here. She skipped a week. She don't need to be skipping a week. She needs to be coming here and seeing me. And he don't want his brother. He doesn't want my brother. He wants me. 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 There's something about me that gives him peace. And sometimes I think in my head, I told you that he wants a cell phone really bad. And I know that if I was to give him a cell phone, that this phone would be blowing up. Send me a picture of the dogs. I need some sprites. Are you coming up here today? He would blow my phone up because he did last time. And it sends me to outer space. He does. Because he wants to sit and chit chat to me all day long, and I'm trying to work, and it gets hard. Or he'll call, and he don't text nobody else. He doesn't call nobody else but me. So it's a hotline to Judy Sneed. And he wants to see every single thing that I'm doing. He wants to keep up with every single thing and every single move that I make, because he is a very dependent person. He's very dependent of me. And he does not know how to go, okay, I'm in this nursing home. I need to make the best of it. Instead, he's the one he doesn't know how to say, Judy, can you come up here today? I'm really having a bad day. Because if he said, Judy, I mean, if he did this, I mean, if he did it every week, that'd be a different story. But if he said, hey, Judy, I'm really having a bad day. I'm missing your mom. Can you come up here? I would say yes. But instead, he gets the nurse call me and say, I need to give Judy my grocery list. Dude, you have no money. That's what I'm going to say. Like you can't be drinking 6 Sprites a day, because that's what he does. If I go take him a case of Sprites, they're gone in 2 days. And then he's calling me back in 2 days. I need some more Sprites. No, you're going to have to drink the drinks that are at the nursing home, because he gets obsessed. Girl, listen, dude, you're fixing to have to use the Dollar General word search books. These $15 books that you go through every 2 days, we have 10 books left. I can't afford $15 every 2 days for word search books, on top of your grocery list, on top of you needing clothes and socks. like there's one of me. You don't see anybody else around helping me financially. It's me. But I have to be the wise one to break things down and go, what is he trying to tell me? Is he obsessing? I mean, I just took a big O. When I say big, I'm talking, I took a big, huge thing of snacks to him last week before last. So you mean to tell me you've gone through all those snacks in that short of time? So is he trying to tell me that I need to get my butt at the nursing home? Probably, because I missed last week because I was busy. So I have to break things down and go, what is he trying to tell me? Is he trying to tell me that he needs peanut butter crackers, or is he trying to go, hey, did you forget me this week because you didn't come? When my brain, when things creep back up with me, what am I trying to tell myself? What am I telling myself in my, when this whole weight thing creeps back up, what am I telling myself? What is this all about? Why do I do this? It's terrible. It's so depressing. So why do I do it? I remember my doctor years ago when I told her how bad it was. She sent me to an outpatient eating disorder clinic. And at the time, I think it was in Vestavia. At the time, my husband, I remember him getting mad at me because it cost us a copay every day I went. And I was going to have to go every day from like, I think 9 to 5 every day for like 6 weeks. And I remember he was mad because we were going to have to spend the money because he thought it was stupid. He was like, just stop. And I'm going to make up a number, but I think it was $15 a day for me to go. And the first day that I went was like the assessment. And I remember like when I had to weigh on the scale, they wouldn't let me see the number. They like, you had to turn around and weigh. And I was thinking, this is so stupid. And then I remember like we had, it was like, I remember we had a yoga class for relaxation. I remember that and I enjoyed that. But I remember this one particular thing that we had to do is we had to go in this room. I felt it was so stupid. But we had to go into this room and there were like little figurines like a cow, a pig, like a farmer, and like each person in the eating disorder clinic, we had to choose animals and build this, like, we had to build something. And then they gave us so long to build this empire or whatever you want to call it, this house or whatever. And we had to explain why we chose the animals that we chose. And I remember doing that little exercise going, this is the stupidest thing that I've ever seen in my life. I am a grown adult like doing this. And of course, I'm like, okay, you want to play? Yeah, I'll play this dumb game. Is what I was thinking in my head. This is just dumb. And I chose the pigs. And I built this little empire of pigs. And it was my turn to talk. And they were like, okay, Judy, why did you choose the animals you chose? Because I'm a fat pig. That's why. I mean, I remember thinking it was the stupidest thing in the world. And I remember we had to go to lunch and they prepared our lunch. And we had to sit in front of the counselors and eat our lunch, and they monitored what we ate. And I remember thinking, what is this, like like elementary school? Like what? Like I just felt like it was all dumb. And I remember thinking, I'm paying money to do this. Like, this is stupid. I'm driving because I lived in Alabaster and I was driving all the way to Vestavia, and I thought how dumb it was. And my husband was griping about spending the money for me to go. And I thought, forget it. I won't go because I think it's dumb myself. And I remember I went for like 2 or 3 days. And then I'm like, I'm out of here. I am not doing this. It's stupid. I just want to let's talk about it. Let's get to the root of the problem. I'm not playing games with, little animals. Like I'm not doing any of this. I'm a grown adult with children. And I quit. And sometimes I think if I would have stuck with that, would I have tools in my pocket to be able to pull out when this thing pops back up in my head, to be able to deal with it? Because I will be honest with you, it's hard for me to reach for the tools when that comes up in my head, because it comes up in my head so often, and reaching for tools is difficult. Because sometimes you just want to be depressed, or sometimes you're just like, I want to not eat today, or I want to overeat today, and I want to eat every freaking sweet in this house and screw everybody, and I'm going to do it. I've been this way my whole life. I'm going to die going this way. Who cares? Leave me alone. And I think Larry probably, with his thing that pops back up all the time, it's like when you've been the same way your whole entire life, you don't actually recognize how bad it is. You don't. And a lot of the eating disorder is in my head, but I do say it. I mean, like, I bet you money. I don't know this to be a fact, but a couple of videos ago, the first thing that came out of my mouth was, I'm intermittent fasting. I'm trying not to eat till 12 o'clock. And all you people that know that I have a jacked up mind when it comes to eating, y'all are probably like, oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. She's doing intermittent fasting. Oh, poor Judy. Poor Judy. Because when I watch the video back, I always talk about my weight. I always. Because it's something that always creeps back up. And it's something that never goes away. It's like a fight with my husband, fighting over the same thing over and over and over. How do you stop it? Like, let's say that you and your spouse fight over finances. And you're like, look, like he is over the top. I am up to here with this whole finance crap. I cannot deal. And then you'll be okay. And you're like, I'm just going to stop fighting with him about it. I'm just going to stop. And then a week or two later, it pops back up and y'all are in another fight over the same darn thing. And you're like, this is never going away. I'm literally going to have to deal with this the rest of my life. Like, we're going to be fighting over this at our deathbeds, because we fight over the same crap all the time. I fight over the same crap in this brain of mine all the time, just like Larry does too. But Larry doesn't recognize it. I recognize mine. But what's the difference? If I recognize it and Larry doesn't, what's the difference? Sometimes it feels like just because you go to counseling and you deal with things doesn't mean they go away. If you went to counseling today and you were like, you know what? I want to live the next 10 years with a happy marriage. I got to go fix me because we fight over this crap all the time and he is not mature enough and I'm fixing to go to counseling and I'm going to learn how to deal with this because I am being robbed of my joy and I want to be happy and I'm not leaving him. We've been married too long, but I am over fighting over this. So I'm going to go fix me. I'm going to go run after recovery myself because I can't change him because this keeps creeping up all the time. So I am going to make an appointment right today with a counselor and I'm going to go fix me. And you're going to sit in counseling and you're going to tell everything how jacked up he is and what y'all are fighting over, but you're not going to tell your part. It's going to take you a long time to figure out what you're doing wrong because it's all them. He brings up the same crap all the time. He says the same thing. He's like a broken record, blah, 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 blah. He makes me do this. He says this, blah, blah, blah. But if you really break it down, you have a part in it too. Just like I have a part in this whole eating disorder, and Larry has a part in what he does. And if you want to truly be happy and be content the rest of your life, this crap is going to pop up in my head the rest of my life. Why? Why? Because this is the problem that I deal with. So how do I make it stop? I have to be honest with my counselor and go, dude, this crap's popping up every day. And I'm putting everything else above it. I'm putting my children's problems, my husband's problems, my Larry's problems. I'm putting everybody's problems over my own. But in my brain of mine, it is sick. And you know what she's going to say to me? I bet y'all already know. Hey, Judy, you know that thick book that's sitting beside your bed? When's the last time you opened it? Oh, so you're like that alcoholic that goes to the AA meetings that leaves drinking alcohol and tells me the program doesn't work. Yes, that is me. I don't feel like opening my book because I don't feel like using my tools. I just want it to go away. I just want it to go away. Just make it go away. It don't go away. You can try to treat it with the pill. You can try to treat it with alcohol. You can try to treat it with whatever you want to treat it with, but it ain't going away until you deal with it. Until you get to the root of the problem and you start using your tools to fix it. The problem will keep creeping back up until you put the right tools in your pocket and have the discipline to pull the tool out and to fix it. So until I go, okay, every morning my butt needs to get up and read a chapter of this. It's right here it's right here. It's right here. And as a matter of fact, Tina, a long time ago, gave me this book. It's an Al Anon book about the principles of Al Anon and what the scripture says about them. I should be more disciplined to get up and work on myself every day. But instead, I would rather worry about everybody else's problems. I'd worry about people calling me and needing peanut butter crackers and what's happening in my kids' lives instead of working on my own life, because I'm not putting myself as a priority, because that feels selfish sometimes. Putting yourself first feels selfish, but you have a choice. You can sit it out and keep trying to fix everybody else's problems and keep bringing the same thing up over in your head over and over and over and over again and never getting to the root of the problem. Or we can hold each other's hands. All of us that are here, all of us that are on the replay, we can hold each other's hands and go, you know what? Me too. Me too. I'm guilty of the same thing. It's not the same situation as yours, but things pop back up in my head and won't go away too. And we can say, we're in this together. We're a team. Healing out loud is difficult. But the first step in recovery is admitting the problem. That's the first step. Admitting that you have a problem that keeps creeping back up. The second step is getting help. Finding the right counselor. It took me a long time to find the right counselor. And it took me a long time, because we don't walk into counseling and go, the truth is, I'm a train wreck and I do this. We talk about what they do. They did this to me. They did this. They did this. This. My mom did this. My childhood sucked. Blah, 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 blah. We talk about we don't go in there and go, okay, let me tell you this. Look, I'm addicted to alcohol. I'm addicted to drugs. I literally love drinking alcohol. I can't stop. I love to obsess about not eating. I love to I love to have affairs on my husband. It's a thrill to me. Like, whatever you deal with, I'm not saying I do that. But we don't go in there doing that. It takes us a long time to get to that point, because we have to trust our counselor before we just spill the beans. We don't want to tell our part. We want to tell their part, what they're doing to us. I've been abused. I'm mentally abused. Like, we go in there saying all that. We don't go in there and say, I have got some serious issues and I need help. So what are you going to do today? Because you have a choice. Are you going to sit it out? Or are you going to dance? And my suggestion to you is to get professional help. We're all here together to hold each other's hand, to let you know you're not alone. But I'm not a professional. I'm just your Aunt Judy. And I tell you that I'm a train wreck. So I hope you dance. I will see y'all Wednesday. Bye.